Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Crickbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Quick word on that second game. May not get it as in-depth as we would into this particular one. Scotland versus Namibia, same surface. They'll be playing back-to-back. They'll be waiting for England and Bangladesh to finish, and only then they will take the field. Let's quickly look at Scotland. First and foremost, recovering from that Afghanistan debacle. I mean, I don't think you really want to talk about names over here because you're not going to have a Mujib and a Rashid and coming at you.
Yeah, a Smith, a Trumpleman and a Frelink is not going to threaten you like the way, you're not going to look at them like you looked at Rashid Khan and Mujibur Rahman. So I think they'll look at that bowling attack and they'll say, look, there's really one spinner there, really, Bernard Scholz, who's the only spinner who's going to threaten them. So I think Scotland as a batting unit will look at it and say that there's not much point making changes because they were undone by a side which was, had spinners that they've never faced before in their lives. They just turned around and said, if this is our best 11, I think we need to stick with it.
But two teams will be coming with very different mindsets. Scotland having been rolled over, Namibia with the high that you were witness to a few feet away of having just qualified for this stage of a tournament.
And they've been lifted by the presence of David Wissa, because they can use him as an depending on number of balls left. But he clearly looked like he was in a different league when he was playing that stage of the tournament. Now, effectively against Scotland, they're doing that. But watch out for two batsmen. I know they left out Stephen Bard. They like him. I love the name Piquet à France. He's got such a lovely off-spin action as well. But watch out for three names in there. I'm mighty impressed with Gerard Erasmus, because whether he's batting at 3 or 4, he's a wonderful player of spin bowling. And JJ Smith. So you see Erasmus, Wissa and Smith. That is their core in the middle. But also someone who's just come out of retirement, which is Craig Williams.
Craig Williams is a super
he came out of retirement, hit it really well. He seemed to do well at the top of the order. So I think batting-wise, I get the feeling that Namibia are a little stronger than Scotland. And the names that Joy took, that Trumpleman can bowl 140 plus. He'll then pull back a little, but he has the 140 plus ball. Frelink is very good at taking pace off. So if they're playing fourth on the same track, that might come in handy. So it's because I've seen more of Namibia than I have seen of Scotland, but I've been very impressed by what I've seen in Namibia.
Will there be any sort of impact? Because as I said, it's a rare event to have a double header played at the same venue. Will the track matter at all, Joy? Just get your quick thoughts on that.
Yeah, my feeling is that track
just been played.
My thought is that neither of these sides have great spinners. They have adequate spinners. They don't have great spinners. So my thought is that it make that much of a difference if the track is varying a bit more. The other thing is that 40 overs don't really age a track. Any track which is supposed to play a test match plays 80-90 overs a day. So what are we talking about? Every time we look at it, we look at it in relation to one-day T20 matches, but it's really not that much cricket being played in that track. My only thing is that...
ODI 100 overs, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. We have 100 overs in ODIs.
And I can tell you, we talked about it off air. We had triple headers in the CPL this year. That's 120 overs. And the night game in the 120 over day produced 100 to Evan Lewis. So obviously the track was fine.
Yeah, sometimes I think what you can also do, because of the afternoon heat, it starts to cool down by 5:30, by 6 it's dark. But at 2 o'clock, it's still very, very hot. And when the track is open to the surface, that's about 12 o'clock. So about 2 hours before, you've got the track that's open to the surface and getting baked. Till about 4 o'clock, it's getting baked. So he might just prepare a really hard surface so that it doesn't slow down for the fourth innings, which might actually work to England's advantage in the first game. I don't understand pitches very much. It's just I'm thinking aloud, but that could well be the case.
Yes, in fact, it was a similar comment that I had seen on the morning of that triple header. And guess who was actually on the field playing the first of the triple header games? The first man on the pitch, David Wiese. St. Lucia were playing the first of those triple header games. He went and got a 40 of 19 balls along with Tim David. And so he knows a thing or two about playing on a 120 over day. But that's as
But
far
they
as
must play
the two
Piquet à France. They have to play Piquet à France. He's got a lovely action. He's a bit like Harbhajan. He'll start off like that, and then he bowls almost in slow motion. Coach, you got to release it, release. Oh, okay, I released it.
Lovely.
Is it the name or the action? Which one do you like better?
Both. I love the name. I mean, but that's okay. That's the name he was given. But I loved his bowling action as well. I mean, I don't think he's the greatest off spinner in the world, but he bowled 2 overs and he bowled them really well.
Okay, so we've got a person association with everyone. It's Saifuddin for me, Picky or France with Harsha.
Yes.
Joy, you've got to pick a player for the tournament. Just a favor.
No, David Vise. Again, I love journeyman cricketers. I love cricketers who play everywhere, small leagues, big leagues. One of my big friends, as Harsha will tell you, is Ryan Tendoshkate. And I just love that work ethos. They take their lunch pail to work. They'll play in Afghanistan. They'll play in New Zealand. They'll play in the Big Bash. They're playing for Tasmania in the Big Bash. And that thing, turn up and say, okay, this is a new team. How can I adjust here? How can I do my best? And I think there's a work ethic out there that's worth learning, because they overcome all these cultural differences. They come into places where they don't know anyone, and they make themselves a part of the team.
Yeah.
Before you
Abu
give
Dhabi
us
team, yes, sir. Bangladesh Premier League, yes, sir. PSL, oh, of course, yes. They'll go and play everywhere, and that toughens them. That's what happened with David Malan, if you remember. That toughened him, and suddenly, in a close group, he was the guy who knew what the rest of the world was like.